May I have your attention, please? Votre attention, s'il vous plaît, quelques instants. Works. When you have a question to ask to anyone at this table, we're quite numerous here, please raise your hand a little bit ahead of time so A, that I can see you, B, so that the ladies equipped with microphone can reach you. Soyez assez gentils, lorsque vous aurez une question à poser, faites-moi signe quelques instants à l'avance de manière à ce que d'une part je vous vois, d'autre part à ce que les hôtesses équipées de micros arrivent jusqu'à vous. When you have the microphone, please stand up so A, we can see you, B, so that the television cameras can film you. As you know, this press conference is broadcast live. Lorsque vous aurez le micro à la main, soyez assez gentils de vous lever, de manière à ce que qu'on puisse vous voir d'ici, de manière également à ce que les caméras de télévision puissent vous filmer. Comme vous le savez, cette conférence de presse est transmise en direct. Et lorsque vous aurez votre question à poser, when you ask a question, please introduce yourselves. Présentez recommendation tout à l'heure. One last recommendation, please turn your cellular phones off. Soyez assez aimable également de bien vouloir éteindre vos téléphones portables. Merci. All right, gentlemen, les photos. Je voudrais rappeler aux photographes qui ont à opérer pendant la conférence de presse. Sitting next to him.
Thank you.
And there's a question over there.
Wade Major, Entertainment Today, as a native Enfield cinematic web. And how do you get people in Hollywood to read this in script form and understand what it's going to look at? Because we all know how the legends of how simple-minded the people are along the way who have to read these things and pass judgment.
It was a hell of a book. I know because I wrote it. When my agent and I discussed selling this book,
along with it, and then we were in a position to go to each of the other actors up here and say, we're making this picture because we love it, and we would like you to be in it because we would love the idea of you in it, as opposed to saying, we would like you to help us find the financing for the picture, which is the way movies are often made these days.
Mr. Helgeland, there's nothing subtle about this movie. Usually it's not a compliment, and in this case it is. Please continue.
There's a kind of comic film noir nature to this film that's so clever and ingenious, and I'm curious how that was played between Mr. Hanson and the actors in terms of getting those feelings across in the performances, which are uniformly wonderful.
And the director to give it both the lightness of touch and the simplicity. Is that what you... Mr. Spacey, Mr. Crow?
Well, I think since Mr. Crow is a visitor to Los Angeles, he should answer this question first.
Firstly, how you all doing? Had a good morning, I hope.
By the way, if that's for
Excuse me, could you please turn this off?
Now take your pictures,
time.
right there.
Photograph.
Now that's comedy.
There was a question there, then you.
This film. And do you have any monogrammed clothing of your own? And the mustache now, please comment on that.
Ooh, deep.
Yes, everything I'm wearing.
And also whether Curtis or James or anybody in this movie felt that even though it's set in the 50s, you're really commenting on post-OJ Los Angeles in the 90s.
That's a leap.
That's deep. Yeah. my wardrobe was really quite simple. Kevin is really right when he said about Ruth Myers. She's an exceptional designer. She's wonderful, and she really had an idea for each character. But when it came to my character, because I am Veronica Lake, it was very easy to look back over her films and to see the way she dresses. And also, when you were mentioning humor, there's so much humor in many of her movies. So we literally just went back to the films and watched her and got the clothing, really stole it from her.
Sir? Sorry. Oh, yes. Do you think this
modeled on a military operation, which preceded and led to the LAPD today? And James, do you want to take that?
LAPD kicked black ass in the city of Los Angeles.
Rather than the open commercialism of the 90s that film stars have to put up with.
Your first question.
Was Veronica Lake one of your heroines, and what did you feel of her footage when you watched it? And
Right.
what did you think of her as an actress herself?
I really loved Veronica Lake from I Married a Witch and This Gun for Hire. I had really not seen any other of her movies, and just in the research, I fell in love with her. I think she was a very underrated actress and really known for her hairdo more than, her acting ability. And your second question was?
Second question was, were you envious of that time in Filmland when they were very protected and there's a lot of mystique, whereas today, you have to do everything possible to promote a movie, and the privacy of the stars has gone, and it's very commercial today, the acting world.
I've always been envious of that era. I always have. And it gave me such an opportunity, this being really a character-driven piece, to play someone who has a real beginning and a real middle and a real ending, and such clarity. And I was so melancholy after the experience was over, let's just say that, because I feel like I am sometimes very misplaced today. I would have loved to have lived then and worn the clothes, and because of that word mystique, I think that's so important for one word, movie stardom. And we seem to have so little of that today. So as far as that is concerned, yes. But I'm very proud to be sitting up here with this cast, having done this so many years later, and we felt like we were right back there during those times. I think all of us did.
Madame?
Hi, Michael. Between them, and don't you think you might fail in...
Fail?
No.
Did you say fail?
No, I'm sorry.
No. Not a word in my vocabulary. Yes?
Do you think the challenge of being a genius is irresistible?
A genius was a good word. I like that word very much. It's a great challenge, but it's something we love, being a genius. No, being I think it's like really fun for me. I love the business. I'm so happy to be part of this cast. I really love working with everybody here. And, and I like doing lots of things. The producing is really fun. Jersey, we're doing a lot of pictures and directing and acting. I just love the business so much. And, I also have 3 kids. Ha ha! Now there's the rub. Okay, thank you.
Mademoiselle. Monsieur ensuite.
Hi, I'm Raya Abirashid from Mer Television.
Playing very dark figures over a couple of years, which up to that point really hadn't been my experience. Certainly in the theater, I didn't find myself playing those kind of characters, but I wanted to find a role and hopefully a series of roles that would give me an opportunity to play characters that, even though in the case of Jack Sealed, very often in writing characters that are darker or manipulative, as an actor you begin to feel that you could be in a room talking to yourself alone for as much as another character affects your character's behavior. And so what I was looking for as an actor...
Oh, excuse me.
Inspiration for this role and the Cannes experience so far.
Say that last part again, because I was just caught up in that sleazemonger stuff. Yeah, go ahead, say it again.
But it was genius.
Oh, genius is a good word. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, go ahead. What was that again? I'm sorry.
Your inspiration for this visionary.
This character of Sid. Oh, well, I've always wanted to play a journalist. You know, somebody whose ideals were, just impeccably morally pure, and and I got a chance to also be a paparazzi in the movie. I could shoot the pictures so it was, that's basically coming to these wonderful events all the time. It's so inspirational.
And the second part about the Cannes experience now being on the other side.
About the who?
The Cannes experience.
Can. Like
Can.
can do? Can? Oh,
Can.
Okay. As can. Yes. Well, and what about was that? The question was?
Being on the other side now with the paparazzi.
Oh, it's always fun. I like. That's why I bring my camera, because see, like, I am you, you are me, we are the walrus, and I can, so it's fun. It's very nice to be here. I love being here. Excellent. Thank you.
Hi, Liam Lacey from the Globe and Mail in Toronto. Mr. Elroy, what were you...
Of that fire. I wanted to write the biggest, baddest, ugliest, deepest, darkest crime novel of all time, set it in LA, my smog-bound fatherland, throughout the 1950s, which is my first formative decade. Now, in 1953, which is the year LA Confidential, the film was set, I was 5 years old and not cognizant of much. However, a few years later, I started looking around and seeing things. And in 1958, when I was 10, my mother was murdered, and it was an unsolved crime. How much money he wanted for me to essay the role, and he turned me down flat. But I did visit the set a few times and was impressed with the complexity and the density of the shot-by-shot work of Curtis Hanson and Dante Spinotti. I saw them.
Mighty nice seat on the bus. To your second question, as far as the cape is concerned, no, not really. I had seen that cape in one of her films. It wasn't exactly like that, but we thought it was really wonderful, again, to keep the mystique of the character in the beginning, just keep her hidden, the whole Veronica Lake thing. So I think with that pale white around her face, so it worked. It worked for the opening piece.
Question là, là ensuite.
Maria Hagerup, Det Fri Aktuelt Denmark.
One of the reasons the film got made is that it was cleaned up slightly. And I'm very grateful for that, or I wouldn't be having this wonderful experience of living the film right here.
Jan Epstein, Australia. This is a question for Curtis Hanson. In Australia, we're very proud of both Guy and Russell. I'd love to know, what is it about the Australian guys that made you cast them into such a quintessentially American role as cops in LA? What is it about them that turned you on?
It's the free room and board we've offered Curtis when he comes to Australia for his holiday.
Looking at the movie, so the fact that, in fact, James made a comment to me after we had cast not only Guy and Russell, but also Jamie Cromwell, that the only Angelinos on the set would be him and me.
It was difficult, but it's something I said earlier. She was so 100% in whatever she did at any given time during the film that I think she herself, Lynn Bracken, had studied Veronica Lake, and she was someone else when she did it. So I was someone else when I did what I had to do, if that makes sense.
David Page, Radio France International. My question is for Curtis.
Well, we tried, as one always does, to shoot as much in sequence as possible, but in fact, you end up going wildly out of sequence due to all the production logistics. And the challenges that presents are obviously to the actors to maintain the clarity that you tried to establish during the rehearsal period of where everybody is at any given moment in the script, and then we try to remind each other of that and achieve what you're talking about in terms of a character arc. The only thing I would